Basic Photography 101 is for the beginner and anyone who wants to know how to take better photos. The purpose of this video is to help you understand the basic principles of photography: exposure, depth of field, and composition. We'll discuss light, ISO settings, aperture, shutter speed, and other photography terms, making them simple to understand and apply. It doesn't matter if you shoot with a film camera or a digital camera. The basic principles are the same. If you shoot with your camera settings on automatic, the camera is doing all the thinking for you. The camera is adjusting the aperture and shutter speed based on the light striking the subject. You have no control of the exposure. You can only control the composition of the photograph. In this point-and-shoot method, you get a correctly exposed photograph in most situations. But some situations call for adjustments on your part. For instance, when you're shooting a subject against a bright background, like a white sandy beach or snow. Or shooting against a dark background. Or maybe you're shooting a performer in a spotlight. When shooting sports or any fast-moving event, you don't have time to review your photos in the preview window and make corrections. You have to be prepared and know what you're doing, or you will miss the shot. That's why it's important to understand the basics of photography, so you'll know how and when to shoot. When to trust and when to override your metering system in your camera. Also, and more important, getting the shot right during the shooting so you don't have to spend time later in Photoshop correcting your mistakes. The ISO setting is important to understand, as well as the terms f-stop, shutter speed, and white balance. By understanding the basic principles of photography, you take control of your camera to get the shots you want, and not the shots the camera gives you.
Digital photography has really changed the world of photography today. I've been a professional photographer for over 35 years, shooting film on various formats. When I was shooting sports for Inside Sports Magazine, I was shooting with Nikon 35mm cameras with long telephoto lenses. When I was shooting portraits and weddings, I was shooting on the medium format, 2¼ by 2 3/4. My commercial clients required large transparencies, so I shot their products on a 4x5 view camera. When I decided to go digital, I stayed with Nikon because my old expensive telephoto lenses would fit their new digital cameras. My clients love the fact that shooting digital today, they can come into the studio, shoot their photographs, I can burn them a CD or a DVD, and they can walk out with the photographs in their hand and not have to wait for film processing. If you're a beginner or an amateur, one of the first things you would need to learn to be a better photographer is how to hold the camera properly to get the best photographs. When shooting a horizontal photograph, take the camera, put it in the palm of your left hand with your fingers underneath the lens for focusing, arms against the chest for support. When shooting a vertical photograph, a professional photographer turns the camera clockwise with the lens resting in the palm of the left hand, fingers underneath the lens for focusing, arms against the chest for support in this manner. The arms against the chest for support is not as critical with a wide angle or normal lens, but is more critical with longer focal length lenses and using the correct shutter speed when using long lenses. Also, a professional photographer shoots in the same manner when shooting off a tripod or a monopod. Let me clarify a couple of things about how professional photographers shoot with cameras. Most professional model cameras have two shutter buttons. One on the top, as usual in most cameras have, and then another on the right bottom corner. So it doesn't matter if a photographer turns his camera clockwise or counterclockwise, the button is easily accessible. The video you just saw is a small portion of my 46-minute HD video presentation, Basic Photography 101. If you are interested in learning more about photography, you will love this video. This video is a goldmine of information and tips on photography. The video teaches and explains and illustrates the basic principles and fundamentals of photography. The video covers exposure, using aperture f-stops and shutter speed. It covers depth of field, how to get a shallow depth of field or a deep depth of field, especially when you're shooting sports and fast action nature, and needing a deep depth of field when shooting landscapes or other subjects. The video covers composition. It explains the 1/3 rule to achieve good composition. It also covers and explains ISO and white balance, among other topics. You might ask, why should I buy a video on photography when there is so much free tips and info out there on the internet? That's a good question. But I'm amazed as a professional photographer that there is a lot of information and tips that are inaccurate and confusing, especially for beginners. Wouldn't it be great to have all the information you need to be a good photographer in one place? This video teaches the basic principles of photography that every serious photographer needs to know and understand to be a good photographer. Here is another clip from the video.
The shutter speed refers to the duration or how long or short the iris stays open, allowing light to reach the sensor. A shutter speed of 250, 500 and higher are fast and freezes most fast-moving subjects. A shutter speed of 1 is 1 second, which is very long and slow and would blur any moving subject.
I wish a video like this had been available when I was learning photography 40 years ago. I guarantee you, if you get the video, you will learn and understand the basic principles of photography that will make you a better photographer. To purchase the video, go to my website at www.csphotovideo.com or click on the link below in the description area. You have 3 options for getting the video. The Blu-ray version, high definition video, is only $29.99. The standard definition DVD version is only $24.99. Or you can download the video for only $19.99. Here on YouTube, I hope you like my presentation and subscribe to my channel for more tips on photography. I also plan to produce more how-to videos on different subjects of photography. Most creative photographers sees an image appear before they see the image in the viewfinder. When you know and understand the basic principles of photography, you can create that image in the camera. Thank you. Good luck. Good shooting.